أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. This is the video that everybody's been waiting for, everybody's been asking for, been getting a lot of comments for, which is what books to study in order to be proficient in the Arabic language. And I'm really looking forward to this myself. But understand, the ulum, the sciences that cover the Arabic language, there are many. There is Nahw, which is grammar, Sarf, yani looking at how the words change, looking at balagha, eloquence, and then there is the aspect of just speaking, like being able to hold a conversation or read and understand a book. So all of those are different. Regarding being able to speak and have a vocabulary in Arabic, for this, my suggestion is speak the language. Any language you want to learn, immerse yourself in it. Go live in a country where you are unable to speak English or Urdu or Farsi or Pashto or anything except Arabic. And if you can, try to surround yourself with those people who speak Fusha, yani who speak the classic Quranic Arabic. And then as the child learns language, you're going to pick it up. But what if you're not able to go to some country and spend time there, few years here and there? Like when I lived in Jordan for a while, it was amazing because I wasn't able to speak anything else. I lived in an area where I had to speak Arabic. I made a rule with myself not to speak except classic Arabic, even if people called you a professor or made fun of you. So that was really beneficial for me. But if you want to get some books, then there are a few books, and we have a few here. Kitab al-Asasi, this is one of the books that's well recommended. It comes with a CD. So this is a good book if you want to get vocab. There are the Madina books. Again, they're very practical. They work. There is Arabiyya bayna yadayk, also an excellent book. And we have many. This section going all the way around is all Arabic language, dictionaries, and books. Again, but my suggestion for vocab, speak it. Sit down with people, and when you're forced to have to ask for something in Arabic or refer to something in Arabic, then you're going to wonder what is the word for it. Then you're going to go look it up, and then you will remember it. Just sitting and reading through a book and Hada al-Kitab al-Dhalik al-Bab and things like this, I'm not a big fan. Rosetta Stone and all of that, I'm not a big fan of that. I think you need to be immersed. Even if you don't live in an Arabic country, you can find people who are fluent in Arabic around you and say, okay, every week let's just sit down for a couple of hours and a couple of days and speak nothing but Arabic. Right? And I think that's going to be more beneficial, but these are good books as well. Now we get to the more difficult thing. Like speaking, you can easily pick up by speaking. Vocab you can pick up by speaking, but grammar you cannot. Grammar you need to learn. Unless you're going to learn it from a child and you're going to grow up and kind of figure out the grammar from listening to people and things, you could. But most people who speak Arabic today, even when they speak Fusha, they don't use proper grammar like Muthanna and understanding the difference between Isharat and things like this. So grammar you need books. Now I'm going to show you two paths and two sets of books to study grammar. One is a classic scholarly path, but it's not the easiest path. The other is an easier path, and I've studied both sets of books. Both have their own benefits. So let's talk about easy first. A book that I would highly recommend. It's called Nahw al-Wadih, and this is written by two contemporary scholars, Sheikh Ali and Sheikh Mustafa Amin. Very, very easy to understand. There are two sets. So there's two sets that have 3 books each. So altogether 6 books printed in 2 volumes. I have one of the prints that I like a lot because what they have done is they've made graphs. They've added graphs to the original book. And this is the print that I taught from and I learned from. This is Maktabah Dar al-Fikr from Beirut, Damashq, the Damashq, Sham, sorry. So from Damashq, Maktabah Dar al-Fikr, their print of Nahw al-Wadih. It's excellent. I have a few different prints and all of them are good, but the ones that have included charts, I like those a lot. This is the second three books. That's the first three books. So Nahw al-Wadi', excellent book to begin from a zero grammar person. If you can read Arabic and you can understand some of the words, this would be an excellent book. Then there is this book which one of my shuyukh recommended to me. It's called Durus al-Nahwiyya, and this is printed by Dar al-Aqeedah, and this is a combined work of 4 scholars. I found this to be a very, very amazing. It's one volume really, but it has different volumes within it. A Shaykh Allama Hifni Nasib, a Shaykh Allama Muhammad Diab, Shaykh Allama Mustafa, and Shaykh Allama Muhammad Salih, and a few of the ulama came together. It's called Durus al-Nahwiyya, Dar al-Aqeedah, and it's an excellent print. It doesn't have the yellow paper, but it does have different colors. It has a lot of charts. Past the first 3 books of Nahw al-Wadi', if you study this will be excellent for Nahw for you. Tayyib, let's say you wanna, this is now I'm telling you a more recent scholars, recent methodology, new, easy to use. But let's say you want to go down the classic path of studying the mutun, and there's a lot. Qatr al-Nada we'll talk about inshallah first. So Qatr al-Nada of the great Ibn Hisham, who was a great Shafi'i faqih, then he became Hanbali in fiqh and wrote this amazing work. I have this with the Sharh. It's called Sabeel al-Huda bi-Tahqiq Sharh Qatr al-Nada of Shaykh Muhayyidin Abdul Hameed. I studied this with one of the shuyukh in Pakistan and found many benefits. And even though we were traveling at the time, it was an amazing book. People ignore this. It's a very beneficial work. But if you want to study Qatr al-Nada, even though that's a very classic way to do it, I am going to suggest the Sharh of Shaykh Abdullah Salih al Fawzan. Not Shaykh Salih al Fawzan, but Shaykh Abdullah al Fawzan. He is Shaykh Abdullah ibn Salih al Fawzan, not the son of the famous Shaykh Salih al Fawzan, but another great scholar. Shaykh Abdullah al Fawzan, amazing scholar, great research, 1 volume. I have Dar ibn Jawzi's print. No doubt I recommend this print over others. The tahqiq is excellent, yellow paper, mulawwan, and I found this to be the best and easiest way to study Qatr al-Nada from the books that I have studied for it. Tayyib. Now let's go to the famous Ajurumiyya. Ajurumiyya, classically, it's a very small matan. People memorize it as well, but it's classically studied with the book Tuhfa Saniyya bi Sharh Muqaddimah Ajurumiyya, and this by the same Sheikh whose Sharh I studied for Qatr al-Nada, which is Muhammad Muhayyidin Abdul Hameed. And this is classic. If you go to Egypt, you go to a lot of countries, this is what they turn to. And I have studied this twice, but I'm going to recommend a Sharh, 2 shuruh for it inshallah. One is the easiest and most practical to learn, and that is the Sharh of Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, Shaykh Muhammad Salih ibn Uthaymeen. As usual, his style to make it easy. Maktabah Rushd has the print that I like. Excellent print, clear, mulawwan, different colored script, yellow paper, and amazing. Again, if you want to go the classic route, yes, but if you want to make it easy to understand Ajurumiyya, go with the Sharh of Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen or the Sharh of Shaykh Abdullah al Fawzan as well. But that's Ajurumiyya. Now let's say you want to go higher level. The best book, in my opinion, written with Nahw and Sarf, there is no equal to it, it's Alfiyya ibn Malik. As the Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen and others said, if you understand Alfiyya ibn Malik and you can comprehend it and you can understand it, that is enough for you in Nahw. Tayyib? So Alfiyya ibn Malik, I have a few different prints of it. I have one that has the Sharh of a Shaykh Muhammad Muhayyidin Abdul Hameed, the same Shaykh who wrote Tuhfa Saniyya and the Sharh of Qatr al-Nada as well, with it printed together. I found some benefit in that. But I have to say the classic, and what I studied with Shaykhuna Ubaid al-Rahman in Mahad al-Lugha al-Arabiyya in Islamabad, is the Sharh of Ibn Aqeel. No doubt, Sharh Ibn Aqeel on the Alfiyya Ibn Malik is the gold standard. This is the ultimate book. Again, I cannot mention enough how important Alfiyya Ibn Malik is. If you can memorize Alfiyya Ibn Malik and understand it, you are good in Nahw. I mean, you still need other subjects, but in Nahw and Sarf, you're good. Maktabah is the one that from Riyadh that's printed, the print that I have, and it's excellent, mulawwan, and there is a lot of tahqiq that they have given here, including when he mentions a shi'r, a poem from Asr al-Jahiliyyah, they give the whole poem and things. So it's in 2 volumes. This is excellent as well. But now, as I said, these are classics. Sharh Ibn Aqeel of Alfiyya Ibn Malik is as classic as it gets in studying al-Kafiyya, also a very good book and things like this. But what I'm going to suggest is the Sharh of Sheikh, 2 of my favorite shuyukh, Shaykh Muhammad Salih al-Uthaymeen, Sharh Alfiyya Ibn Malik. This is a book that when it first came out, I was telling people about it. There were Tullab ilm that didn't believe me that this existed. But alhamdulillah, I have it. It's in 3 volumes. Excellent, excellent. Alfiyya Ibn Malik is very high level stuff. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen makes it very easy. So if you can get your hands on it, you must get this book and study this book. Again, Maktabah Rushd for the Sharh of Alfiyya Ibn Malik of Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen. The other Sharh that again I highly suggest is al-Salik Alfiyya Ibn Malik, the Sharh of Shaykh Abdullah ibn Salih al Fawzan. Again, one of my favorite shuyukh. Very deep, very clear. I have the same book from him, that is Dar ibn Jawzi's print. Dar ibn Jawzi, excellent, best print that I could find for the Sharh of Alfiyya Ibn Malik of Shaykh Abdullah al Fawzan. As you can see, excellent cream colored paper, mulawwan. You must get this book, al-Salik Alfiyya Ibn Malik of Shaykh Abdullah al Fawzan. Tayyib, if you want to go further now, let's say you want to be an amazing expert, one book you need, and this is the book that ends debates. Like when we have debates in Nahw and stuff, this is the book that ends debates. It's called Nahw al-Wafi. And what's important to know about Nahw al-Wafi, it is written on the abwab of Alfiyya Ibn Malik. So Nahw al-Wafi, people take this as a standalone book, but if you actually look at it, it follows the tartib of Alfiyya Ibn Malik. So if you get this with Alfiyya Ibn Malik, you are good. This is Shaykh Abbas Hassan, who wrote Nahw al-Wafi, and a very, very good book. Now, let's say you want to memorize Alfiyya Ibn Malik. May Allah bless it for you. I spent a year with this Alfiyya Ibn Malik in Pakistan with Shaykh Abdul Rahman, Dr. Abdul Rahman. And from the mutun to memorize, you get those little small ones to put in your pocket. The best one and the easiest and the most accurate according to manuscript is the one you can get from Dar ibn Jawzi with the tahqiq to ensure accuracy of Shaykh Abdullah ibn Salih al Fawzan. So Shaykh Abdullah, he made sure that the abyat are in accordance to the manuscript. So this is a very valuable work, because sometimes you're memorizing and you have 2 mutun and there's a little difference, and then it confuses the talib. So if you're going to memorize, use this one. This is Dar ibn Jawzi, Shaykh Abdullah ibn Salih al Fawzan's tahqiq on just a matan. This is just a matan with some light notes of Alfiyya Ibn Malik. But get this with the Sharh of Shaykh Abdullah al Fawzan or Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen to make it easier for you. If you want to go classic, Ibn Aqeel is unmatched. But if you want to make it easy, then these new shuruh do make it easy for you. Tayyib. Then there is no al-ilmun bahrun, the knowledge is like an ocean, right? There is Lisan al-Arab and all these books that we have, but I'm not going to get into all of that. Next, I'm going to suggest a couple of books in balagha, the eloquence of Arabic language. And you kind of touch on that in Ibn Aqeel, and especially in some of the shuruh of Alfiyya Ibn Malik. There are some of what that will touch on it. But if you really want to go, there are 2 books you have to get. This is higher level stuff. So if you have to be very solid with Nahw and Sarf and Sigha and all of that before you get to Balagha. But this is one of them, and this is called Asasul Balagha of al-Zamakhshari. Zamakhshari was a Mu'tazili in Aqidah. He had all kinds of issues, but in Balagha in Arabic, no doubt, he was a master in it. It's in 2 volumes. It's not a great print, but I'm sure you could probably find a better print, so I'm not going to recommend the print house. But the book Asasul Balagha of al-Zamakhshari. The other is called Asrar al-Balagha. Again, one of the earlier scholars, Abu Bakr, well known for being a Nahwi, yani. He was a very strong scholar in Nahw. His name is Abu Bakr Abdul Qahir Jarjani, and he was from around 400 Hijri, so very early scholar. It's called Asrar al-Balagha. I have the tahqiq of Sheikh Mahmoud Shakir, not to be confused with Sheikh Muhammad Shakir, but Sheikh Mahmoud Shakir. Good print, not excellent, but amazing book. Asrar al-Balagha, very early scholar. Having said that, these are very difficult books. They are hard to understand. You need a good teacher. If you want to get something easier, then those scholars who wrote Nahw al-Wadih, they also wrote a book called Balaghatul Wadih. Balaghatul Wadih, yani easy Balagha. Sheikh Ali Jarim and also Mustafa Amin, both of them came together again to put together Balagha al-Wadih. A lot easier to understand than some of the other books, but definitely not as classic. Last book I'm going to mention before I end. If you want to teach or learn Arabic just to understand Quran, the best book is this book called Muallim al-Quran of a Sheikh Dr. Ubaydur Rahman Bashir from Pakistan, from Islamabad, one of my personal teachers. He wrote this book after great contemplation of the words in Arabic, and what he did is he covered it with just memorizing words every day, and all of these words are often used in the Quran, and then mentioning the ayat that they're mentioned in, having the student memorize the words and then translate the ayat. And as you go through the book, you will get your vocab from the Quran, where you will then understand the Quran. You will understand. You may not be a scholar in Nahw and Sarf like this, but to understand the Quran, Muallim al-Quran from Mahad al-Lugha al-Arabiyya in Pakistan, Darul Ilm has printed it, of Sheikh Ubaydur Rahman Bashir. I find this to be better than the Madina books if you want to get the students comfortable with the Quran. So these are my suggestions for books, how to learn the Arabic language. Wa jazakumullahu khairan.